to introduce.
I know you're
our
excited
guest
for
today.
this guest.
I am.
Because you're drunk.
Oh,
now, I'm not allowed to call you drunk because I got in trouble the last time I called you drunk. So
It's
so
all
listen, but I'm
relative.
not officially calling Wayne a drunk.
Just because you don't drink and I might have 3 in a month, I'm a drunk. But whatever. We have got a great business here today. We've got Vienna Barger with us. Hello, Vienna. How are you? You've been sitting here so patiently. Thanks.
She has been there so quiet.
Thanks for being
rolling
here.
her eyes whenever you say something stupid.
She and her husband, Pete, who's on an airplane coming back from somewhere, are getting ready to start Southern Distilling Company. Tell us about Southern Distilling Company. What's it going to be? And you're not open yet. When are you going to open?
Southern Distilling Company is a new craft distillery that we are building here in Statesville. It's a large-scale craft distillery. We'll be making whiskeys, brandies, and other tasty products for folks to come and taste at our facility, as well as enjoy in our local ABC system and bars and restaurants once we really get rolling. We are anticipating that we will have our soft opening the last weekend in August. So we're in our final stages of construction now and getting ready to scale into the planning for our opening phases.
Fantastic.
Okay. I love to ask the question, how did we get here, So can you talk a little bit about your background? I mean, you don't have to go back to 1963, but just kind of talk about how you and your husband decided that this is something you wanted to do, because it surely is a large calculated risk that you guys have taken.
Absolutely. Well, our 7-year-old daughter will tell you that it was all her idea. So she's convinced that she came up with the concept. Where this actually came from was that my husband and I have been looking for a family business to start for a long time. We've vetted a lot of opportunities and really looked at a lot of possibilities and gotten close to some. But about 4 summers ago, we were out on his family farm in North Iredell County on South Chipley Ford Road and planning to site a new barn that needed to be built there. And we talked for years about doing a vineyard on that property. It's a beautiful property just south of the whole Yadkin Valley area where there's lots of other wine growers. Mm-hmm. And my husband said to me, well, if we're going to plant all these grapes, let's make vodka out of them instead of making wine. So
her husband might be a drunk, too.
Yeah, man after my own heart.
So that's where the seed of the idea was planted, was let's take a look at what the distilling industry is all about and what's going on in craft distilling. And we started researching then. So this has been a 4-year planning process of really getting to know the industry, looking at what the growth trend looked like, and really jumping in with both feet to meet folks in the industry, both here in North Carolina and across the country, and learn about the feasibility of opening this type of a business.
Talk a little bit about the industry, because I know a little bit about the micro brewing on the beer side, but I don't know that much about the distilling side. But I have read up a little bit that it is growing almost as fast as the brewing side. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. The growth trajectory is a bit crazy, and it is mirroring the craft brewing industry in a lot of ways, except for at a much more rapid pace. We saw craft brewing really develop over a 20-year period, but it's still growing and really even, I think, increasing currently, at least in our North Carolina and Charlotte market area. Yeah. Craft distilling has caught on pretty rapidly and is following a similar trend. When I first started researching the industry 4 years back, we had, I believe, right around 10 operating distilleries in North Carolina. There currently are 50 that are licensed in the state 4 years later.
Really?
So it's a tremendous amount of growth in the industry.
Wow. It really is unbelievable.
We were, interesting story. The reason Vienna's so good on the radio is that you were a DJ in college on the college radio station, right?
I was at UCLA when I first started college.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, that's why you're such a natural, I guess. So, we were talking on the break, and there's a few interesting things. First of all, why did you decide, and I saw this on your website, why did you decide to stay in Statesville? What is the appeal of being in Statesville? I guess are you a Statesville native, or?
I am not. I'm actually a California girl, but my husband is a Statesville native.
Okay.
So he was born and raised here and has a long history in the business community with the businesses of his family. So he had 4 generations of his family in Barger Millwork Company that operated here in Statesville.
Oh, okay.
So we
Barger Millwork, all right.
We looked for lots of different locations. We spent a lot of time looking at sites in various communities and certainly down the road in Mooresville as well, where we currently live, and really ended up settling in Statesville largely because we found a fantastic site, a supportive community, great agricultural farm-based community to be working in, as well as a deep heritage in the Statesville region for distilling. So this area, before Prohibition hit, and Statesville actually went dry before the rest of the country, along with North Carolina, but this area was really well known for the local farmers that were growing grains, growing fruits, making whiskeys, making
She's
brandies.
saying that real pleasant like. You understand that, don't you?
Yeah, Statesville has
We
a
know how
drunk history.
NASCAR got started. You understand? Let's talk a little bit about how did you feel comfortable, or how did you even discern that there was going to be a market for this? Because I get the whole microbrewing thing. I could see. I mean, literally, there's not a restaurant in the area that serves beer that wouldn't like to have some kind of local flavor. How did you test that to see if, in fact, that's going to happen here? Because it is still unique in the area. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, there's two aspects, really. One is the larger liquor market. So this is beyond thinking about craft, and that is that currently worldwide there is a whiskey shortage, there's a bourbon shortage, there is a great demand for aged spirits across the globe.
Well, if you go to Wayne's house, you wouldn't find that to be true.
Oh, good grief.
So that market demand is there, and that's there whether you're a small craft producer or a large-scale producer. Relative to the craft community, as you've said, there's a lot of interest in craft beer. Folks have that same desire, and the current younger generations have that same desire to try something new, to see something that's local, to learn about how something is made, and then be able to actually buy that product and have that be something that they're consuming rather than a big corporate brand. So again, across the country,
Right.
that same desire for local food, local drink just plays right over into distilling and distilled
So you really
spirits.
don't see this, although you want to be local and you're thinking local, you really think you can sell this throughout the country.
Yes.
Interesting.
Wow.
Yes.
You know, when you open up, you said hopefully by the end of August. What are people going to see? Is there going to be something for them to come to? Or, first of all, what is it you're exactly going to do there? And then secondly, what about the public? Is there going to be things for them to see and do?
Absolutely. We have planned a beautiful agritourism location. So this is a place where anybody that's coming up or down I-77 or I-40 can take a couple minutes and turn off at exit 54 on I-77 and come in and have a visit. So we have a 3,000 square foot retail space. We'll be able to offer merchandise, a gift shop, and also bottles of the spirits that we make there on site for folks to purchase. And then we have our manufacturing facility where we're making all of our distilled spirits, and we'll be offering tours and tastings of that area for folks that come through as well. We have planned relative to market reach. This is a large-scale facility, so we've scaled it for growth and for being able to branch into other areas as we get down the road a bit and get our business off the ground. And we also have 20 acres of agricultural property that adjoins the building itself. So we'll be putting in a demonstration orchard to show folks how you can take fruit and make that into brandy. Same with grapes for making wine that makes into brandy, and then some grain fields that we would be showing folks how to turn grain into whiskeys. So
This is going to